Good morning, everyone. Today I want to talk about 4 simple yet powerful steps. 4 truths that hold the power to transform our lives if we are brave enough to live them. Let it end. Let it hurt. Let it heal. Let it go. We live in a world that glorifies endurance. Keep going, they say. Push through. Don't stop. And while resilience is important, we often confuse resilience with avoidance. We hold on to relationships, jobs, dreams, and versions of ourselves long after they've expired because letting go feels like failure. But here's the truth. Every season in life has a beginning, but it also has an end. Let it end. Whatever it is for you, be honest with yourself. Maybe it's a toxic relationship. Maybe it's a plan you've been clinging to that no longer feels right. Maybe it's a story you've been telling yourself about who you are or who you're supposed to be. The hard truth is some things in our lives don't just fade out naturally. We have to end them. And endings are not easy. They require courage. They require a willingness to step into the unknown. But here's the beauty of an ending. It creates space. Space for something new, something more aligned with who you are becoming. So when life whispers this has run its course, I invite you to lean in that truth. Let it end. Let it hurt. We don't talk about this enough, do we? The messy, raw, unpolished truth that endings hurt. Loss hurts. Letting go of something, even when it no longer serves us, can break our hearts. And you know what? That's okay. Pain is not the enemy. Pain is a teacher. When we try to numb it, avoid it, or outrun it, we rob ourselves of the lessons it carries. Pain asks us to slow down, to sit with it, to acknowledge what we've lost. Because in that hurt, we begin to understand what mattered to us and, more importantly, what we are made of. So when it hurts, don't turn away. Let it hurt. Let yourself grieve. That's where the healing begins. Let it heal. Here's the thing about healing, it doesn't come on our timeline. It doesn't arrive on demand or follow a schedule. Healing is messy, unpredictable, and deeply personal. But here's the good news. Healing is inevitable if we allow it. The key is to stop rushing it. You don't have to have it all figured out by next week. You don't need to pretend you're okay when you're not. Healing comes in layers, in waves, in moments of clarity that arrive when you least expect them. Trust the process. Let time do what time does best. And while you're healing, remember this, there is no shame in carrying scars. Scars are proof that we've lived, loved, and survived. They remind us of our strength and resilience. Let the healing take its course. Be gentle with yourself. Let it go. Here's the final truth, and perhaps the hardest one of all. At some point, we have to let go. Let go of the pain. Let go of the story. Let go of the blame. Not for anyone else, but for ourselves. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it never happened. It means releasing your grip on the past so it no longer has power over your present. It means giving yourself permission to move forward lighter and freer than before. And here's what I know for sure. When we let go, we make room for joy, room for connection, room for the life that's waiting for us on the other side of all this pain. So, my friends, whatever season you are in, whether you're at the edge of an ending, in the thick of the hurt, in the tender process of healing, or standing on the precipice of letting go, know this, you are not alone. You are strong enough to do this. And on the other side, you will find freedom. Let it end. Let it hurt. Let it heal. Let it go. Recognizing when something has run its course is one of the hardest yet most necessary things we can do in life. We are wired to hold on whether to relationships, dreams, habits, or even identities because letting go feels like failure. But the truth is, not everything is meant to last forever. Some chapters in life are only meant to teach us something, prepare us for what's next, or help us grow. Holding on to something that no longer serves us only creates stagnation and limits the space available for new opportunities. Letting something end isn't about giving up. It's about being honest with yourself and choosing what aligns with your growth and well-being. There's a quiet wisdom in knowing when it's time to walk away. It's not an easy decision, though. Often, fear gets in the way. Fear of the unknown, fear of regret, fear of disappointing others. We convince ourselves that holding on is safer than letting go, even when the cost of staying is our own peace. But clinging to something out of fear only leads to resentment and frustration. Letting it end requires courage, the courage to trust that even if the next step feels uncertain, it will lead us closer to where we are meant to be. Another challenge in letting things end is the emotional weight of nostalgia. We hold on to the good memories, the moments that made us happy, in the hope that things might somehow go back to the way they were. Nostalgia is powerful, but it can also keep us stuck in the past. When we focus on what once was, we lose sight of what could be. Letting something end doesn't erase the good moments or diminish their value. Instead, it allows us to honor them for what they were while acknowledging that their time has passed. Letting something end also means accepting that not everything is within our control. Sometimes, no matter how much effort, love, or persistence we pour into something, it doesn't work out. This doesn't mean we failed. It means life is moving us in a different direction. Endings can feel like rejection or loss, but they are also invitations, an invitation to step into a new season, to grow, to redefine what matters most. Endings, though painful, are often the birthplace of transformation. In moments of doubt, it's important to remind yourself that letting something end is not about weakness, it's about strength. It's about valuing your time, energy, and heart enough to stop investing them in places that no longer align with your purpose. When you let something end, you're not abandoning it. You're choosing to respect the role it played in your life while making space for something new. Trust that endings are not dead ends, they are turning points. With every ending comes the possibility of a fresh start, a chance to create something that better fits who you are becoming. When life whispers that something has come to its natural conclusion, listen. It may feel like loss in the moment, but it's often the first step towards something greater. Pain is an inevitable part of life, yet it is something we are conditioned to avoid at all costs. We live in a culture that celebrates strength, resilience, and quick fixes, often at the expense of authenticity. When we experience hurt, whether from loss, betrayal, disappointment, or endings, our first instinct is often to push it aside, numb it, or pretend it doesn't exist. But ignoring pain doesn't make it go away. It burrows deeper, showing up in other areas of our lives until we face it. Allowing yourself to feel the hurt is not a weakness, it is an act of courage. Letting it hurt means sitting with the discomfort, even when every part of you wants to escape it. It means acknowledging the ache in your chest, the lump in your throat, and the tears in your eyes without judgment. Too often we think we should be over it or move on quickly, but pain is not something that can be rushed. It demands to be felt, and in feeling it, we begin to understand it. Pain carries important messages. It tells us what mattered to us, what we valued, and what we lost. Ignoring it would be like ignoring a wounded part of ourselves that is asking for care and attention. Grieving, whether it's over a person, a dream, or a chapter of life, is a necessary part of healing. There's no one-size-fits-all process, and it often comes in waves. Some days you might feel like the weight is too much to carry. Other days you might feel fine, only for it to catch you off guard again. This unpredictability is normal, and allowing yourself to experience it without judgment is part of the process. Giving yourself permission to feel the hurt is also a way of giving yourself permission to be human. It's important to recognize that numbing the pain doesn't just numb the hurt. It also numbs joy, love, and connection. Whether through distractions, overworking, or other forms of avoidance, trying to escape pain robs us of the fullness of life. Instead, letting it hurt is an act of self-compassion. It says, I honor my feelings no matter how uncomfortable they are. It's about sitting with your emotions and holding space for them without needing to fix them immediately. Hurt can also be a mirror reflecting back to us the parts of ourselves that are still tender or unresolved. It shows us where we may need to set boundaries, let go of expectations, or confront truths we've been avoiding. While it's uncomfortable, it also offers clarity and insight that we can't access when we push it away. Hurt invites us to grow, even when we wish it didn't. There's a profound strength in allowing yourself to feel deeply. It's through this vulnerability that we connect with ourselves and others on a deeper level. Pain, as unwelcome as it may feel, is part of what makes us alive. It is proof that we loved, that we cared, and that we are capable of meaningful connection. By letting it hurt, we honor the depth of our experiences and create the foundation for true healing. Healing is a process that unfolds in its own time and its own way, and it rarely looks the way we expect it to. It is not linear, predictable, or something that can be scheduled or forced. Healing is often messy, filled with setbacks, and requires more patience than we think we can give. But no matter how uncertain or slow it feels, healing is possible. The first step is to allow it. Too often we resist healing because we feel the need to rush through our pain, to skip over the uncomfortable parts, or to appear as though we've already moved on. But healing cannot happen in denial. It requires our willingness to sit with our pain and let time do its work. One of the biggest misconceptions about healing is that it's about returning to who we were before the hurt or loss. But the truth is, healing is not about going back, it's about moving forward. We don't emerge from pain unchanged. Healing transforms us, reshapes us, and often redefines what matters most. This process can be disorienting at times as we realize that we're not the same person we were before, but that's the gift of healing. It's not about erasing what happened, it's about growing from it. Another truth about healing is that it requires tenderness toward ourselves in the process. We live in a world that prizes productivity and quick results, so it's tempting to view healing as just another task to check off the list. But healing doesn't respond to force, it responds to compassion. It requires us to listen to what our minds, bodies, and hearts need in the moment, even if those needs seem inconvenient or slow. Sometimes healing looks like rest. Sometimes it looks like asking for help. Sometimes it looks like laughing again for the first time in weeks. And sometimes it looks like simply making it through the day. Each step, no matter how small, is part of the process. There will be moments during healing that feel like setbacks, moments where the pain resurfaces, and you wonder if you've made any progress at all. But setbacks are not failures. They're a natural part of the journey. Healing is not a straight line, it's a series of waves. Some days you'll feel lighter, and other days the weight will return. What matters is that you keep moving forward, even if it's just a little at a time. One of the most challenging parts of healing is learning to let go of the timeline we think we should follow. It's easy to feel pressure to heal faster or to compare our progress to others. But healing doesn't work that way. It's a deeply personal process that unfolds at the pace that's right for you. Comparing your journey to someone else's only adds unnecessary pressure. Trust that you're exactly where you need to be, even if it doesn't feel like it. Healing is also about learning to carry the memories and scars of what happened with a sense of acceptance rather than resistance. Scars don't mean you're broken, they mean you're human. They remind you of what you've endured and how far you've come. Healing doesn't mean forgetting or pretending the pain didn't happen. It means integrating the experience into your life in a way that allows you to move forward with strength and grace. Letting go is one of the hardest things we are asked to do in life. It requires us to release our grip on something that once felt essential, a relationship, a dream, a version of ourselves, or even the pain we've carried for so long. Yet, the act of letting go is not about forgetting or dismissing what was. It is about freeing ourselves from the weight of holding on to what can no longer serve us. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the past or pretending it didn't matter. It means choosing to no longer let it control the present or dictate our future. Holding on often feels safer, even when it hurts. We convince ourselves that if we cling tightly enough, we can preserve what was, change the outcome, or find closure that feels complete. But the truth is, the tighter we hold on, the heavier the burden becomes. Letting go is not an act of weakness or failure. It is a courageous decision to prioritize peace over control. It's about accepting what we cannot change and trusting that life has something better waiting for us, even if we cannot yet see it. The process of letting go begins with acceptance. Acceptance does not mean agreeing with or liking what happened. It doesn't mean excusing harm or minimizing loss. It simply means coming to terms with the reality of the situation as it is, not as we wish it could be. This step is often the most difficult because it requires us to face the truth without resistance or denial. Acceptance asks us to stop fighting against the current of life and instead allow it to carry us forward. Letting go also involves releasing the stories we tell ourselves about what happened. Sometimes we hold on to narratives that keep us stuck, stories of blame, resentment, or guilt. We replay moments in our minds, imagining how things could have gone differently, or we assign ourselves the role of victim or failure. These stories may feel comforting in their familiarity, but they also trap us in a cycle of pain. To let go, we must rewrite those stories, focusing not on what we've lost, but on what we've gained in strength, wisdom, and resilience. Forgiveness is often a part of letting go, though not in the way many people think. Forgiveness is not about condoning the actions of others or denying the hurt they caused. It is about freeing yourself from the emotional weight of anger, resentment, or bitterness. Holding on to those feelings only ties you to the very pain you wish to move past. Letting go means choosing to forgive not for the sake of the other person, but for your own freedom and peace. Letting go is not a one-time decision, it is a practice. There will be moments when the feelings resurface, when you are tempted to pick up the weight you set down. These moments are not failures. They are opportunities to choose again. Each time you practice letting go, you strengthen your ability to release what no longer serves you and move forward with greater clarity and lightness. The beauty of letting go lies in the space it creates. When we release the past, we open ourselves to the possibilities of the present and future. The energy we once used to hold on becomes available for new beginnings, deeper connections, and greater joy. Letting go is not about forgetting where we've been. It's about making room for where we're going. It's a brave, intentional act of trust in ourselves and in the unfolding of life. Scars are a part of being human, visible reminders of the battles we fought, the losses we've endured, and the lessons we've learned. Yet, in a culture that prizes perfection and flawlessness, we are often made to feel ashamed of our scars. Whether physical, emotional, or mental, we hide them, cover them up, or pretend they don't exist. But scars are not something to be embarrassed about. They are proof of survival. They tell the story of resilience, of how we faced what tried to break us and came out stronger on the other side. To view scars as strength is to reclaim the narrative of what it means to be vulnerable and courageous. Every scar represents a moment in our lives when we were challenged, hurt, or brought to our knees. It's easy to look at these moments and see only pain, but scars offer a different perspective. They remind us not just of the hardship, but of the healing. They show us that even in the face of difficulty, we have the ability to endure, adapt, and grow. A scar is not a sign of weakness, it is a badge of courage. It marks the places where we chose to fight through the pain rather than give up. Often, we carry emotional scars that no one else can see. These scars can feel heavier because they're invisible to the world and at times even to ourselves. We might try to bury them, to pretend they don't exist, or to convince ourselves that we've moved on. But denying our scars doesn't erase them, it only delays our ability to embrace their meaning. Acknowledging these scars is not about reopening old wounds. It's about recognizing the growth that came from them. It's about honoring the parts of us that have been transformed by our experiences. There's a powerful shift that happens when we choose to see scars not as flaws, but as evidence of strength. Scars tell the story of what we've been through and how we've evolved. They don't define us, but they are part of us, and they can serve as a source of inspiration. When we embrace our scars, we give ourselves permission to be fully human, to be imperfect, to be real, and to be resilient. Scars remind us that healing is possible, even when the pain feels insurmountable. Sharing our scars can also be a gift to others. When we show up authentically, scars and all, we create space for deeper connection. We let others know that they're not alone in their struggles, that it's okay to be imperfect, and that healing doesn't mean erasing the past. Instead, healing means learning to carry our scars with grace and strength. In sharing our stories, we remind each other that scars are not symbols of defeat, they're symbols of survival. To view scars as strength is to honor the journey that brought us here. It's about shifting the focus from what we've endured to how we've grown. Scars show us that we are capable of withstanding the hardest moments in life and still finding the courage to keep going. They are a testament to our resilience and a reminder that no matter what, we have the capacity to heal, transform, and thrive. Letting go creates space for joy. When we hold on too tightly to the pain, the past, or what could have been, we inadvertently block ourselves from experiencing the fullness of life in the present. Joy requires openness. It needs room to breathe, to grow, to take root. But when we carry unresolved hurt or the weight of what no longer serves us, that space becomes occupied by what drains us rather than what uplifts us. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or dismissing what happened. It means releasing the grip we have on what we cannot change and making room for new possibilities. It is in this space that joy can enter and flourish. Joy is not the absence of pain, but the willingness to embrace life as it is. It can coexist with the scars of our past and the challenges we still face. Yet when we cling to old wounds, unresolved guilt, or lingering resentment, it becomes harder to notice or accept moments of joy when they appear. Letting go is an act of trusted belief that by releasing what weighs us down, we are creating space for something better. This doesn't mean joy will arrive instantly or effortlessly, but it becomes possible when we're no longer fixated on the things that hold us back. One of the barriers to experiencing joy is the fear of letting it in. Sometimes after experiencing pain or loss, we feel guilty for finding joy again, as though it diminishes the significance of what we've been through. But joy is not a betrayal of the past. It is a testament to our resilience and our ability to move forward. By allowing ourselves to feel joy, we honor the fact that life continues and that we are deserving of light even after darkness. Letting go isn't about rejecting the pain, it's about making room for something more. Joy often comes in small, unexpected moments, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the laughter shared with a friend, the quiet satisfaction of a job well done. But when we are preoccupied with the weight of what we're holding on to, we miss these moments. Letting go allows us to be more present, to notice the beauty and wonder around us. It shifts our focus from what's behind us to what's right in front of us. This shift in perspective creates the opportunity for joy to enter, sometimes in ways we don't expect. Letting go also creates emotional freedom. When we release anger, regret, or disappointment, we free up energy that can be redirected toward what nourishes us. Joy thrives in freedom, in the absence of unnecessary burdens, and in the presence of curiosity, gratitude, and connection. By choosing to let go, we allow ourselves to step into this freedom and open the door to experiences that bring us happiness and fulfillment. Letting go doesn't mean we'll never experience pain again, but it does mean we're not defined by it. It means we can embrace the complexity of life, the joy and the sorrow, the beauty and the challenges without being trapped by any one emotion or experience. Joy is not about denying what we've been through. It's about recognizing that there is still room for laughter, love, and hope. By letting go, we give ourselves permission to feel alive again. It is in this act of release that we discover the profound, healing power of joy. Life is a series of endings, pains, healings, and releases, each shaping us into who we are meant to be. To truly live, we must find the courage to let things end when their time has passed, allow ourselves to feel the hurt, trust in the healing process, and release what no longer serves us. In doing so, we honor our scars as symbols of resilience and create space for the joy that life still has to offer. Letting go is not about forgetting, it's about embracing the wholeness of our journey and stepping forward with hope, strength, and an open heart.